Okay. So the first thing that we have to cover, which we have ignored for a very long time, is remember that we talked about how to deal with distributed load in a rather generic manner, जो कि ये था ना, right? कि work done by external forces is if you got, let's say, some force per unit volume, then multiply that with the displacement uh, and integrate that over the entire volume. If you got some force per unit area, call it T, then multiply that with the displacement and integrate it over the entire area, entire surface over which it acts. अगर force per unit वो है length है, multiply that with displacement and integrate that over the entirety of the length along which it acts. ठीक है? So there's a bit of a question mark. अच्छा, how do you actually physically carry out this integration, right? Like u is a function of possibly x, y, and z, and this area, dA is basically dx, dy, dv is dx, dy, dz. So how do you physically carry this out? The way that happens is to replace this u by n multiplied by q, right? So n was the shape functions wala matrix, right? The matrix of shape functions. So if you do that, and यहाँ पे by the way transpose से सारे इनके साथ इस वजह से लगा हुआ है. Just look at these last two, by the way, not the first two. This first thing is just the element stiffness matrix. This is some load vector due to some initial strains. I don't want you guys to think too much about it. The short version is कि अगर कोई चीज पहले से preloaded हो, पहले से उसके ऊपर कोई strain लगा हुआ हो, तो strain की वजह से you can treat that like a preload, right? आपको शायद mechanics उसमें materials and manufacturing में इस तरह की बात कुछ याद हो कि you know जब आप कोल्ड वर्किंग करते हैं तो उसके ऊपर एक इनिशियल स्ट्रेन भी होता है. सो दिस इज रिलेटेड समवट टू दैट, सो इग्नोर दिस सेकंड पार्ट. ठीक है. um, the third fourth part will basically reads the same thing. If you've got a, a force that is distributed per unit area, so this phi is force per unit area, just multiply that with the shape functions ka matrix ka transpose. The reason we have a transpose here is because we want a vector, not a column vector, not a row vector, right? हमें एक vertical single column चाहिए, ना कि single row चाहिए. अगर आप transpose ना भी लें तो फिर you still get the same thing, but now it's in a single row, right? um ठीक है. So just integrate n transpose over the entire area. So often area is going to be some maybe thickness multiplied by some some length multiplied by dx, right? And this n, you might remember, is already in terms of x. So घुमा फिरा के हमेशा एक integration in x हो रही होगी. ठीक है. Similarly, if you've got a body force which is ये phi, which is some let's say weight, yeah, force per unit volume, then you also have to just multiply it with n transpose and take an integral over the entire volume, जो कि normally is going to be area multiplied by some dx. So this dv would probably area into dx. So once again, area is going to come out normally, and you would have to just integrate over the ये over dx, and this n is also going to be in terms of x. ठीक है. So इसकी दो examples हम सादा सी करेंगे. एक तो let's say you've got a beam and you've got a uniform distributed load of magnitude p naught per unit length. ठीक है. So what that means is कि एक बीम के ऊपर एक यूनिफॉर्म लोड लगा हुआ है जो कि थ्रू आउट हर जगह पे लगा हुआ है, right? And this is per unit length, p naught, force per unit length, right? So we have to um, basically इस p naught को multiply कर रहे हैं by n transpose and then integrating it over the entire length from 0 to the length of the beam. ठीक है. So this n is available to us from literature, right? N has four, चूंकि हम लोगों ने एक cubic function बनाना था, और we had four things, q1, q2, q3, q4, right? On in a beam element, एक beam element के अंदर ये चार q's थे. तो इस वजह से ये n की जो ये 4 n के अंदर जो कंपोनेंट्स हैं वो हमने पहले डिराइव किए हुए थे, ठीक है। एक brief reference of what I expect you guys to sort of remember is uploaded in the folder, Google Drive वाला folder ना, which was this 2 pages के note slash formula sheet. So अगर कभी हमने कोई physical exam किया तो उसमें ये चीजें आपके पास सारी available होंगी, जिसके अंदर 1D cubic element, राइट, जो कि हमारा बीम वाला एलिमेंट था, उसका रेफरेंस गिवन है कि उस केस में v of x is equal to n times q, where n matrix has these 4 shape functions, right? So these are n1, n2, n3, n4. So घुमा फिरा के all we have to do in finding this um, this load vector is take an integral of these 4 functions, right? Take an integral of these 4 functions with respect to dx over from 0 to the length of the element, ठीक है। So as an example, ये चौथे वाला सबसे आसान सा लग रहा है, इसको देख लेते हैं just to develop some confidence, uh, I guess. Let me just open Word because I don't want to open my camera of that system didn't work all that smoothly. Okay. So what we are doing is we are integrating x cube minus lx square and 1 over else जो है ना ये, so बस we can just take that out of this integral, ठीक है। And we are doing this over the limits जो कि मैंने इस वाली equation में तो खैर नहीं लिखे somehow, but over the limits of 0 से l, ठीक है। So this comes out to be 1 over l cube times 1 over 3 into x 1 over 4, sorry, 1 over 4 into x raised to the power 4 minus L over 3 into x cube. I hope this is correct. And you have to apply the limits from 0 to L once again, length of the element. So if you do that, this becomes 1 over L cube into 1 over 4 L 4, but the value is to the 4 minus यानी बेसिकली इससे क्यों जरा कॉम्प्लिकेट करके लिख रहा हूँ, L square over 4 divided minus L cube by 3, right? So this is equal to, sorry, this is also 4 because ये भी L और ये L cube हो जाएगा, ठीक है। So this is going to be equal to 1 over 4 minus 1 over 3 क्या होता है? I think it's 1 over 12, right? So ये 4 minus 3 हो जाता है divided by 12 over 12, right? So this is basically 1 over 12 into L, right? Times L. Okay. So just the integral of this thing is L over 12, and इसको हम pre multiply कर रहे थे by this P thing जो कि बाहर आ गया था. So यहाँ पे L cube लिखा है, ये L square है. I probably wrote this wrong because the rest are the same. Can you see this? So ये by the way square होना चाहिए था. This fourth term should have been squared, ना के raised to the power, ना के cube. So ये probably मैं type करते हुए गलत type किया हुआ है, जिसका मतलब है कि going back to this would have been L square, ठीक है। Yep. और दूसरा ये कि this would have been 3 minus 4, so this would have been minus, right? Okay, there you go, much better. So and of course you're pre-multiplying this with P naught. So this is the fourth term, minus P naught L square by 12. ये हमने चौथी term निकाली है, right? Similarly, आप ये बाकी भी निकाल सकते हैं, and this is what you're gonna end up with, right? So this is gonna be your force vector. ठीक है? Essentially ऐसा है जैसे इसका physical मतलब कुछ इस तरह का हो गया कि अगर मैंने एक let me just switch back to this word thing. अगर मैंने एक बीम एलिमेंट के ऊपर एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड लोड लगाया हुआ है, तो आई कैंट रियली यूज दिस इन इन माय एफईएम एनालिसिस, बिकॉज व्हाट आई वांट इज कि मेरे पास इसकी अगर मैं इक्वेशन बनाऊंगा तो मेरे पास कोई k होगा मल्टीप्लाइड बाय q1 q2 q2 q3 q4, एंड दिस शुड बी इक्वल टू ए लोड वेक्टर जिसके नतीजे से मैं ये q's निकालूंगा, right? So this k is just equal to you might remember just ये बीम एलिमेंट के लिए जो k का matrix है, ठीक है? So I want my force vector to be in this form. This will not suffice. So is this form means कि I want an equivalence between this distributed load and a load in which you've got a force acting here. So this is going to be F1, let's say, जो first element here. उसके बाद a moment acting here, which is going to be, let's say, M1, which is going to be the second element here. यहाँ पे एक force F2, ठीक है, which is this third element. और यहाँ पे एक moment M2, ठीक है? So अगर इसको जहन में रख के इन results को देखें ना, तो what this suggests is कि अगर मेरे पास if this is P naught per unit length, right? Force per unit length, and this overall length is L, right? So ऐसा है जैसे the overall maximum force, जो total force है, that is P naught into L, ठीक है? और effectively this P naught L by 2 and this P naught L by 2 suggests that overall force has been distributed equally on the um, two nodes, right? ठीक है, P naught into L was the total force, right? अगर इसको मैं concentrated force के तौर पे लिखता तो P naught L की तरह लिखता, and you just divide it into two parts. एक part आपने एक नोड पे डाल दिया, दूसरा part आपने दूसरे नोड पे डाल दिया, ठीक है? और जिसके ऊपर मोमेंट्स एक्ट कर रही हैं, एक नोड के ऊपर इफेक्टिवली इसकी मोमेंट P naught L square by 12 है और दूसरे के ऊपर माइनस P naught L square by 12 है, ठीक है? सो ऑफ कोर्स दिस फोर्स थिंग इज इजी टू लुक एट इंटुइटिवली. अगर मैंने इंटुइटिवली भी फोर्स की वैल्यूज लिखनी होती तो मैं यही लिखता, बट मोमेंट की ऑब्वियसली नॉट सो, बिकॉज आई डोंट हैव अ good enough intuition about this. But the force part is kind of simple, right? कि अगर इस distributed force को जो अगर मैंने which is P naught per unit length multiplied by length L, if I had to write it as two concentrated forces on the two nodes, I'd just split them half and half, right? ठीक है, so don't always trust your intuition because हर दफा काम नहीं करती. Okay, so एक और example, बड़ी सादा सी example है, based on what we were doing in the start of the course, right? कि let's say you have a small beam जो कि steel की एक bar है, which is affected by its own load, ठीक है? You've got a density of 8,000 kilogram per meter cube, length given है, cross sectional area given है, it's divided into 4 elements and 5 nodes जिस तरह हमने start में किया था, ठीक है? Find the load vector which includes body forces due to its own weight, right? So this is what I have to find, which is by definition some force per unit volume multiplied by the transpose of the shape functions का matrix integrated over the volume, right? So this is one of those formulas that is available to you, but consistently ये जो distributed forces की वजह से क्या कहते हैं load vectors है ना, इसी तरह है, force per unit volume या per unit length या per unit area multiplied by n transpose integrated over that volume या length या area, right? So यहाँ पे phi is the force per unit volume, which is overall weight divided by volume, right? Overall volume. So overall weight is rho into V is the mass multiplied by G is the weight, divided by overall volume is the V. So in this case, density multiplied by acceleration due to gravity would be indeed weight per unit volume, right? I hope this is simple enough. अगर हमने इन elements के बारे में assume करना है कि these are 1D bar elements जिसमें एक linear interpolation functions इस्तेमाल करने हैं. So you might remember, yeah, it's in the reference as well, कि इसके shape functions just 1 minus x over L and x over L, right? So there is obviously, I don't expect you guys to remember half of this stuff. Magar, you should be able to look in the right places. Okay, I don't remember half of this stuff myself. Okay. So all we have to do is take a transpose of this and then integrate this over this entire volume. अब यहाँ पे volume क्या है? If you got a prismatic beam, then volume is just area multiplied by dx, right? So integrate rho g को बाहर ले आए, n transpose over dv. N transpose would mean कि पहली line is 1 minus x over L, दूसरी line is x over L. Over dv means area and then integrated just over dx from 0 to the length of the element. We are talking about one element at a time. Okay. So integration of 1 minus x over L is going to be x minus x square over 2L, and integration of x over L is going to be x square over 2L. ठीक है. So ये notation थोड़ी सी गलत है, इस तरह नहीं ये limits लगाते होते, but I made this sort of in a hurry and I couldn't find the right mathematical way of doing this. So, but you know what this means, right? This means कि now I'm applying the limits from 0 to LE. Okay, so if you do that, this is going to become just L by 2, and this is also going to become just L by 2, right? So you can take that length of the element by 2 outside of this matrix, and you're left with just 1, 1. Okay, and this rho GAL of the element becomes just rho G times the volume of the element, which becomes just the weight of the element. And now it makes perfect intuitive sense कि अगर मेरे पास हर इंडिविजुअल बार एलिमेंट का जो वेट है ना उसको आधा करके मैं आधा एक नोड पे और आधा दूसरे नोड पे ही रखना चाहूंगा. ठीक है, बट दैट डज लीड टू ए स्लाइटली डिफरेंट देन द expected sort of result. So expected some rather intuitive result जो कि हमने probably सोचा होगा, या एक दफा दोबारा से सोच लेते हैं, right? So we've got a total weight of 8,000. बहुत सादा सी मैथ मैंने इसकी रखी हुई है ताकि हम इसी तरह कर सके. 8,000 density into 0.1 area, right? Into, sorry, 0.1 length into 0.01 area into 10, let's say, meter per second square acceleration due to gravity. ठीक है. So this becomes, कुछ मैंने गलत तो नहीं है कि कुछ मैंने मिस तो नहीं किया, right? So it's density multiplied by volume into acceleration due to gravity, right? So this becomes, I think, 80 Newton. Is it? Do I have a calculator? Yeah. 8,000 into 0.1 into 0.01 into 10, right? 80. So this becomes 80 Newton, right? एक second. Should be another zero here. Oops. Okay, give this a second. Okay. So अगर overall weight 80 है, so intuitively if I had to divide 80 in these four into these four elements, maybe what I would have done is 20 here, 20 here, 20 here, and 20 here, right? शायद मैं ये कर देता, मगर हमने ये नहीं करना. हमने एक करना है कि हर एलिमेंट पे 10 और 10 डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है. So what that would result is कि not 20 everywhere. This does not work. because यहाँ पे मैं जीरो कर रहा हूँ ना, यहाँ पे मैं जीरो डाल रहा हूँ. That's not the right way to do it. What we would have ended up with, the right way to do it would be कि पहले वाले पे U1 जहाँ पे और U2 जहाँ पे है, वहां पे आ जाएगा 10 और पहले 10. ठीक है. और उसके बाद जब यहाँ पे U2 से U3 दूसरा एलिमेंट डलेगा, तो you're gonna add that 10 from this element here as well, and you're gonna add 10 here. So similarly जब यहाँ पे U4 वाला नोड आ जाएगा, so you're gonna add a 10 here, and there's gonna be a 10 here. और similarly जब U5 आ जाएगा, तो बॉटम पे 10 बच जाएगा और यहाँ पे भी 10 बच जाएगा. So what that means is कि overall distribution होगी 10, 20, 20, 20 and 10. ठीक है. So that's how you're going to distribute this overall weight of 80 newtons among these 5 nodes. Which makes sense now that you look back at on it, right? It makes very good sense. ये इसको जो मैंने यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं रखा था, ये गलत किया था ना, इसमें थोड़ा बहुत को मुझे इधर भी distribute करना चाहिए था, right? And it also emphasizes that it's better to have more nodes, because if I had just one or two nodes, right, and then this overall weight would be distributed like 40 on the free end and 40 on the fixed end, right? So effectively मैंने अपनी जो है ना 50% of the force को discard कर दिया होता इस simplification के चक्करों में. यहाँ पे at least 90 newtons of the force is indeed being used somehow. ठीक है. I hope that makes sense. यहाँ तक कोई सवाल है? Anyone? Okay. किसी को मेरी आवाज आ रही है? एक confirmation of that would be useful.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay, so इसके बाद जरा अजीब चीज शुरू होने वाली है. मगर इसमें से don't worry too much about it. Some of it we are gonna sort of just show, मगर उसके end result को इस्तेमाल करना ही आना चाहिए. और वो भी जो है ना, I will definitely not test in any way कि जहाँ पे जो है ना आपको आपके पास reference available ना हो, right? So this can only be given in 2 homework problems, 2 very small homework problems, जहाँ पे आपके सामने किताब होगी, आपके सामने तमाम references होंगे, and then you'll be trying to solve it. ठीक है? Because बगैर reference के I don't expect you guys to remember any of this stuff. I sort of teach this every year and I sort of forget this every year, right? या at least पूरी picture जहन में एक ही वक्त में नहीं रहती. ठीक है? ओके, सो वेरिएशनल अप्रोच के बारे में स्टार्ट में एक बात की थी कि जो मिनिमम पोटेंशियल एनर्जी मेथड है, दैट इज टेकिंग ए फंक्शनल, minimizing that functional and saying कि if I minimize this functional, that's going to give me my equilibrium position, right? And that functional for this case, for the case of solid mechanics, was just potential energy pi minus WP, right? Um, strain energy minus the work done by external forces. अगर हम उसको minimize कर दे तो somehow that minimizes um, that gives us the equilibrium position, right? So ये वाली बात आई थी इस variational approach की से basically, in which the idea is कि you got a functional which can be defined as a function of several other functions. So जो I है, जो कि pi minus WP था, that was indeed a functional because they it was multi-layered. I के अंदर pi है, pi के अंदर sigma और epsilon है, epsilon के अंदर कुछ और है. Eventually x y z पे बात चली जाती है, but whatever, right? So you've got these multi-tiered functions. Honestly, इस terminology से फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You can just use function and functional interchangeably for all I care. It's not going to affect this derivation. So let's say I've got किताब वाली बात को पहले देख लेते हैं, इसके बाद we're going to do a much simpler version first. Okay, let's say we've got some function phi of x. X is the independent variable. ठीक है? And I have a function f which depends on x, phi, the first and second derivative of phi with respect to x. ठीक है? And what we are trying to do, and this is defined over some boundary between x1 and x2, और हमारे पास कोई boundaries पे जो है ना boundary conditions let's say available है. ठीक है? Solid mechanics में this I would have any physical meaning, clear physical meaning such as ये potential energy वाली बात ना, strain energy, minus work done by external forces, and this phi would have any meaning like displacement which can contain uv and w which can contain x, y and z, right? So इस तरह के कोई इसका मतलब हो सकता है. ठीक है? अब करना क्या है कि एक वेरिएशनल ऑपरेटर डिफाइन करना है which is delta. ठीक है? Which means some variation in something. ठीक है? Let's say कि we think of some tentative solution which is phi bar of x which is close to the exact solution. ठीक है? So this variation thing means कि the tentative solution is exact solution plus some small variation in that solution. So ये जो delta वाला operator है ना, it feels and acts kind of like the small d operator, differential operator, जो कि Newton वाला काम था. ये Lagrange वाला काम है. And you might remember that Newton and Lagrange were sort of competitors in the development of the theory of calculus. So this is like another way of dealing with calculus, a lot less common way of dealing with calculus. So this is called calculus of variation, by the way, calculus of variations. ठीक है? So this delta operator works kind of in a similar way to this d operator, and ये अंदर घुस सकता है integrals के और ये अंदर घुस सकता है differentials के, और जब ये अप्लाई किया जाएगा किसी फंक्शन के ऊपर तो ये उसी तरह चेन रूल कॉज करता है जिस तरह एक डिफरेंशियल ऑपरेटर वुड मे बी कॉज. सो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू अप्लाई दिस डेल्टा ऑन माय फंक्शन f which was, you might recall, a function of x phi and its first and second derivative जिसको हम phi x और phi xx कह रहे हैं. ठीक है? So if I apply this delta operator on f, तो मेरे पास इसमें partial f by partial x multiplied by delta x आ जाएगा, plus partial f by partial phi multiplied by delta phi आ जाएगा, plus partial f by partial phi x multiplied by delta phi x, and partial b by partial phi xx multiplied by delta phi xx. सो ये चार टर्म्स इस तरह की आ जाएंगी मेरे पास. ये उसी तरह चेन रूल की तरह फैलता है. ठीक है? एंड इसमें what we are going to try to do is कि जो x है, this is our independent variable. So we are finding the variation in x for a fixed value of x, which means कि इस वाली टर्म को हमेशा independent variable वाली टर्म को हम equal to 0 लेंगे. ठीक है? So all of this seems very, very alien, I understand, and it's going to remain alien. So is first time I'm going to switch terminology from the book to a terminology that you might actually recall from the vibrations course. I hope you recall at least some of it. I just did this last night. Hopefully इसके अंदर कोई errors नहीं होंगे, मगर अगर कुछ हो तो you do let me know. Okay, so let's say हमारे पास एक x of t है. X is a function of t. T is the independent variable. X is not the independent variable. ठीक है? जो कि it's a solution to a differential equation x double dot plus omega n square होना चाहिए था. यहाँ पे पहला एरर तो यहीं पे नजर आ गया. Right? I remember k not here. Right? So इस तरह की एक differential equation का solution है, maybe of the form of some sinusoidal form. ठीक है? So this is what you should just be imagining के background में क्या हो रहा है. Let's say we have a functional L. You might remember the Lagrangian, right? So उस तरह का एक functional L, which is a function of t, x, and x dot. And let me just give you a hint, not a hint, like the answer. कि eventually what we should discover is कि L could be half kx square. यहाँ पे minus लगा लेते हैं, plus half mx dot square. ठीक है? Kinetic energy term minus potential energy term, right? So this is indeed a functional of t, x and xt, because x is a function of t, so this के अंदर t is sort of implicit, और इसके अंदर x भी है और x dot भी है. So हमें ये बात पता नहीं है, हमें इनमें से कोई भी बात पता नहीं है, but सिर्फ आपकी imagination के लिए L is some function of t, x and x dot could be this thing, and x is some solution to a differential equation, which is our problem, which is this problem, which could be this kind of sinusoidal. So just for your imagination कि x है क्या यहाँ पे और L है क्या यहाँ पे, ये बातें मैंने की नहीं है, ठीक है? But we're just starting basically from this, from nothing else but this, ठीक है? So you want to find some x of t which makes this integral stationary, which minimizes this functional, right? Calculus of variation का fundamental problem यही है कि we want to find some solution that makes this stationary, ठीक है? और ये होता कब है? When चीजों को मिनिमाइज करने के लिए उसके फर्स्ट डेरिवेटिव को 0 पुट करना होता था. इन कैलकुलस ऑफ वेरिएशन हम इस तरह करेंगे कि हम डेल्टा आई इज इक्वल टू 0 पुट करेंगे, ठीक है? वेरिएशन इन आई इज इक्वल टू 0 पुट करेंगे. So you have to take a variation of this I thing, which is a variation of this integral which contains L, और ये डेल्टा साइन इसके अंदर घुस सकता है, ठीक है? एक दफा इसके अंदर घुस गया, उसके बाद L depends on t, x and x dot, so this can distribute over it, right? How? This is going to become partial L by partial t multiplied by delta t plus partial L by partial x multiplied by delta x plus partial L by partial x dot multiplied by delta x dot, right? So ये तीन terms. But इसमें this term is we are gonna set this equal to 0 because t is the independent variable. ठीक है? Time is the independent variable. We are finding the variation in L for a fixed value of time. ठीक है? So if this thing turns to 0, I'm left with ये सिर्फ ये दो terms. ठीक है? और उसके बाद what I'm gonna do next is take the second term and focus on the second term, right? So एक तो ये कि this x dot can be written as partial x by partial t, right? वैसे by the way आप अगर कहेंगे कि dx by dt क्यों नहीं, तो honestly I'm totally with you, but इस तरह के minor सवाल, mathematical सवाल इस वक्त ना ही पूछें, right? X dot can be partial x by partial t. Maybe we are writing this generically, right? And this delta operator can go inside, right? If we do that, is delta operator को अंदर ले जाएं, तो you can call this this whole thing as the partial by partial t of delta x, right? Delta differentials के अंदर भी घुस सकता है, integrals के अंदर भी घुस सकता है, ठीक है? So this has been replaced by delta t of, sorry, partial by partial t of delta x, ठीक है? So this thing we can sort of integrate by integration by parts, right? जो कि होती थी कि integral of u dv is equal to uv minus v du, ठीक है? So यहाँ पे what we are doing is कि ये वाला जो पार्ट है ना, इसको बड़े आराम से हम dv कह सकते हैं, right? So in this case v is equal to just delta x, ठीक है? And u as it is, this part is u which remains as is, ठीक है? So इस टर्म को इंटीग्रेट बाय पार्ट्स कर रहे हैं. This whole thing is dv, so this becomes v, right? Minus this is du, and this was once again v. So v du के अंदर ये delta t वाली टर्म भी du के अंदर ही आ रही है. By the way, this is also part of this du, ठीक है? So this is a result of integration by parts. Plug this result back, ये जो रिजल्ट है इसको बैक प्लग इन करें डेल्टा ई की जो डेफिनेशन अभी तक आई थी. सो हमारे पास ये अजीब सी चीज बनती है. इसमें थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा, आपको इसे जो है ना सुकून से देखना पड़ेगा. सो यहाँ पे दिस फर्स्ट टर्म एज इट इज रिटन डाउन हियर, प्लस इसकी बजाय रिप्लेस किया हुआ है हमने ये सारा का सारा कुछ कमिंग फ्रॉम अप हियर, राइट? कॉपी पेस्ट, एंड देन इसे रीअरेंज किया हुआ है ये जो जहाँ पे इंटीग्रेट हो चुका है और सिर्फ लिमिट्स लगानी है, इसको आप इधर अलग से लिख लें. एंड दिस इंटीग्रेशन वाली टर्म्स में डेल्टा एक्स dt are common, and integral from t1 to t2 is also common. So the integral terms can be combined. integral over t1 from t1 to t2 of partial by partial x minus d by dt of partial x by partial x dot. ठीक है, so ये सारी combine होके ये चीज बन जाती है. And for this delta E to be equal to 0, both of these things, this also has to be 0 and this also has to be equal to 0. Okay? So if this is 0, that means K, this, what's inside this integral is also equal to 0. Okay? So ये आखिरी वाली equation familiar लग रही है? किसी को याद हो?
सर वाइब्रेशन में कुछ था ऐसे.
चलो कम से कम, okay, yes, vibration में कुछ था ऐसे, the Lagrange equation, right? This was the so-called Lagrange equation. ठीक है? So Lagrange equation को हम इस्तेमाल करते थे इसमें. What we used to do in vibrations, very brief overview, हम कहते थे कि L is equal to T minus U, where T is the kinetic energy given by half mx dot square. U was half kx square, the potential energy, right? So if you plug these definitions in and remember कि जो T है उसके अंदर x नहीं है, so T के अंदर x का कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है और U के अंदर x dot का कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है, you ended up with d by dt of dt by dx dot plus du over dx is equal to 0. ठीक है, which became d by dt of m into x dot plus kx is equal to 0, and this became d by dt of mx dot became basically mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. ठीक है, so हमने vibrations में जो किया था ना वो इसके उल्टा किया था. What we did was we knew what L should be, right? It was just provided to us कि L is t minus u जबकि t है और u ये है, and if I plug in that value of L, I find my differential equation, right? यहाँ पे we are sort of trying to do, yeah, people sort of try to do the exact opposite. All of this came from nothing, ठीक है? From just some, like हमने तो vibration का जिक्र ही नहीं किया. All we did was just to talk about any random function L which is just a function of t, x and x dot. We didn't even talk about physical problem है क्या, what are we even talking. हम लोग amoebas की growth discuss कर रहे हैं, financial markets discuss कर रहे हैं, क्या discuss कर रहे हैं. We're just saying some dynamic system which has something to do with um, time and x dot, right? और उस पे you end up with this equation called the Lagrange equation, right? So this choice of L is related to the problem that we are discussing. So the idea is that if you've got a differential equation, you have to find some L so that when you plug that L here, this becomes that differential equation. If you're able to do that, then minimizing this integral is equivalent to solving the original differential equation. ठीक है? Unfortunately, ये जो तरीका है, it gives us no method of finding L कि L क्या रखना चाहिए. बस कोई ऐसा L ढूंढना है जिसको मैं यहाँ पे प्लग इन करूँ तो मेरे पास मेरी अपनी रिक्वायर्ड डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन आ जाए, मेरा प्रॉब्लम की जो डेफिनेशन है वो आ जाए. So it doesn't even tell us how to find that L, and it doesn't tell us how to minimize this integral, right? So both of those things have to be done अलग से. ठीक है? But before we get into examples of that, this is the Lagrange equation. This is useful for vibrations, sure, why not? मगर FEM में या generally इसी की बहुत सारी different types हो सकती हैं, right? So यहाँ पे L depended on t, x and x dot. If we chose the L from the textbook, which depended on x as our independent variable and phi जिसके दो derivatives useful है, राइट इसका फर्स्ट और सेकंड दोनों डेरिवेटिव यूजफुल है. हमारे केस में सिर्फ फर्स्ट डेरिवेटिव ऑफ एक्स यूजफुल था, राइट हमारे केस में लैग्रांजियन हैड टी एक्स एंड एक्स डॉट. यहाँ पे एक डबल डॉट भी आ गया, राइट. सो इन दिस केस procedure exactly यही होगा, but it's just gonna get longer, right? So we have to set delta I is equal to 0. Delta I has all of these components. There was also an additional component which had uh, partial f by partial t. Sorry about these lines. I still don't know how to explain them. कि क्यों cause हो रही है. So that was set to 0. ठीक है. और उसके बाद we had to integrate by parts twice. We had to integrate this by parts and we had to integrate this by parts. ठीक है. So integrate both of these terms by parts. Gather all of the terms which have ये delta x dx and the integral, right? So whatever is inside this integral has to be equal to 0 for delta I is equal to 0. This also has to be equal to 0 and this also has to be equal to 0. So यहाँ पे तीन terms हमारे पास आ जाती हैं. All three of them independently have to be equal to 0. जिसमें the term inside this integral is the so-called Euler-Lagrange equation. ठीक है. So this one is very similar to the one that we just properly derived, properly समझा दे थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा time लगा के. But this is for some functional f which depends on x, the independent variable, and phi x and phi xx. Phi का first or second derivative with respect to x. ठीक है. So if we can find a functional f such as this Euler-Lagrange equation gives us the governing differential equations of our problem, then solving the partial differential equation is equivalent, the equation, governing equation to our problem is equivalent to minimizing this integral. ठीक है. The thing is कि PDs को solve करना अक्सर मुश्किल होता है, एक integral को minimize करना relatively आसान होता है. ठीक है. So अब what time क्या हुआ, एक second. Okay, in the interest of अभी यहीं पे recording भी मैं बंद कर देता हूँ और we can maybe take some questions up till this point.